community now shaken up after a Wakefield man is shot and killed inside his home. And that's where we find News 12's Marissa Santorelli with the latest details. Marissa.
Yeah, Christy, police are still here on scene at East 231st Street on the search for answers 1 day after 32-year-old Xavier Woodson was shot and killed inside of his home here, just beyond those gates. Police responded at around 4 yesterday afternoon. Investigators say they found Goodson inside his home off of Laconia Avenue, unconscious, shot twice, once in his abdomen and once in the head. Our crews were here yesterday, capturing officers investigate the bottom level of the two-story home for hours. We spoke with neighbors this morning, left shaken. All of them were insistent about not speaking on camera out of fear of retaliation. Many telling me this is a quiet block where multiple families with small children live. All of them left in shock. Investigators say they still don't have anyone in custody or any word on a motive. But stick with us right here on News 12 as we continue to track these developments. That's the latest here in Wakefield. Marissa Santorelli, News 12, the Bronx.
Sad news to tell you about tonight. We're learning that the son of former Yankees star Brett Gardner has passed away. A statement he and his wife Jessica released today say their 14-year-old Miller Gardner died on Friday after falling ill while on vacation. They went on to say in part, quote, "We have so many questions and so few answers at this point. Miller was a beloved son and brother, and we cannot yet comprehend our life without his infectious smile." The Yankees say they are grieving alongside the Gardner family and offer their enduring support and love.
An iconic Brooklyn Macy's is days away from closing its doors for good. And News 12's Julia Burns joins us from that spot in downtown Brooklyn. And Julia, how are people feeling about the loss of this longtime staple in the neighborhood?
Well, Amanda, if you're walking along Fulton Street or shopping, you have quite a few chain stores to choose from. Now, you have your American Eagle, your Five Below, but I'm told this Macy's is a staple in the downtown Brooklyn community. Now, you can see clearance and closing signs outside of this Macy's ahead of its last day on Sunday. We actually went inside and walked around those empty halls, shelves empty as well, with few items left here as the store is really just trying to clear out the last bits with major sales up to 80% off. Now, this Macy's is not alone, though. The company says it's one of 66 stores to close across the country this year and one of 2 in Brooklyn. It's part of Macy's bold new chapter strategy, which the company says will focus and put more resources into the stronger performing stores. But people in the area say this spot has been here for years, and they're heartbroken to see it go.
It's terrible because I used to come here as a child with my mother. It's not a good idea. They should have fought for it. I don't know why they choose this one.
Now, no word yet on what will take this Macy's place. In downtown Brooklyn, Julia Burns, News 12.
Well, more than 2 weeks after the St. Joseph Center assisted living facility in Trumbull had to be evacuated in the middle of the night, there's a lot of people still wondering what comes next. News 12 Connecticut's Greg Thompson is back outside there now. And Greg, families aren't the only ones still looking for answers.
No, they're not. Now, in the time since then, state officials have confirmed to us that the reason more than 200 people had to be evacuated was because a water test came back positive for the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease. And the state has told us that the building won't be reopened to residents and their families until they're completely 100% sure that it's fully safe for them. But in the meantime, a lot of the workers there are being left in limbo.
What they're doing to the employees is just wrong. You know, they're not sticking by us.
Gloria I is a nurse at the St. Joseph Center, where she would get 32 hours of work a week. But since the evacuation,
I worked 1 day.
While I says most of the building staff has been back inside working, nurses and nursing assistants haven't been allowed. According to I, they were told that there would be shifts for them at other facilities. Those have been few and far between, or sometimes not even real.
At times, if the facility didn't need us nurses, they would just tell them that they didn't need them and they would be turned away.
But since I technically still works for St. Joseph's and hours have been occasionally offered, she says the unemployment claims have all been rejected.
We have families to support and now we have no income.
Problems that I and some of her coworkers who didn't want to go on camera say have gone mostly ignored by higher-ups at St. Joseph's, who haven't told them when or even if their old shifts are coming back.
We just want them to take responsibility for the employees.
And while she and her coworkers are in a union, they say that has also mostly gone silent.
We're just hoping to get answers of, when things are going to turn around. Like, we're just left with not knowing. So it's hard. This is your home away from home.
Now, we've also tried reaching out to both administrators here at St. Joseph's and Genesis, which is the company that runs it, to see if they can give us any sort of information or timeline or any sort of deal about what is available for some of those workers. And so far, they haven't gotten back to us either. For now, that is the latest here in Trumbull. Greg Thompson, News 12, Connecticut.
We begin with the 42-count indictment today in a child sex abuse case against a Dutchess County martial arts inspector. And tonight, News 12's Ben Nandy is reporting from Dutchess County Court with more from families of former students.
There was a murmur of voices as 28-year-old Tyler Leclerc entered the courtroom surrounded by court officers in an orange jumpsuit with his hands cuffed to his waist. Families of Leclerc's former students filled about half the courtroom, and there were a couple of outbursts. Judge Jessica Siegel updated Leclerc's indictment, which includes criminal sexual acts, sexual abuse, and forcible touching. Prosecutors say the incidents happened between March 2021 and February 2025 and involved 4 victims.
How do you explain something like this to your son?
It wasn't easy.
Jonathan D'Agostino says his 8-year-old was not a victim, but this still affects his family and the rest of the local martial arts community. Leclerc's martial arts has 6 locations in the area. Many kids' lives revolved around their training sessions with Leclerc.
It's very hard to deal with and to move on from, like finding a new school to go to and explaining things to your kids, and it's been difficult.
Leclerc hasn't made bail. He's still at the Dutchess County Jail. Judge Siegel adjourned proceedings until April 24th.
Hopefully we'll find, closure and everybody will be able to continue on. I just hope everybody heals.
The judge also had Leclerc sign orders of protection. He cannot have any contact with the affected families. Also, he cannot have anyone reach out to the families on his behalf. Ben Nandy, News 12.
In a statement today, District Attorney Anthony Parisi says no child should ever feel unsafe in a place meant to foster discipline and respect. He goes on to say that we will not tolerate any actions that endanger the well-being of our children. Leclerc's attorney declined to comment for this story.
We have new information this morning about a deadly crash involving a Medford fire truck.
Now, police say a Sound Beach man was killed. 3 firefighters were injured in that crash. They are now identifying the man who drove this car as 39-year-old Jason Copper. They say he was hit at the LIE South Service Road and Route 112 around noon.
We're told the fire truck had its emergency lights and sirens activated. Police say it was being driven by Wilfredo Garcia. 2 other people were inside that truck. All of the firefighters are expected to be okay. Copper died at the hospital.
Do you love the town that you're raising your family in? Let's see if it made the top 100 list in the U.S. News 12's Lauren Dew in Summit.
We're going to have some fun with this one. 16 New Jersey towns made the list for the best place to raise a family, including right here.
I loved growing up in Summit. We have many great playgrounds, restaurants, coffee shops.
Summit ranked 88 on the top 100 list of best places in the U.S. to raise a family, according to Niche.
The community's really great. We have an amazing downtown that's, about a 5-minute walk from my house personally. The community's really amazing. I built so many friendships through Summit.
Those 16 New Jersey towns on the list include Haworth, Mountain Lakes, Hohokus, Harrington Park, Chatham Township, Ridgewood, Princeton, and Gloucester.
Chatham is the place I'd love to raise my family. I've always said that since I was little because the school systems are very great. It's very family oriented here. Everybody's pretty nice, and I would feel safe with my kids running around here.
Niche ranked several factors, including the quality of schools, safety, affordability, and access to family amenities.
I just moved to Madison a couple of months ago, and Summit is pretty much like 2 towns over, so I love the neighborhood. I love to just come here to shop, whether to get my nails done, grab a bite to eat with my son. I love everything about the neighborhood.
Check out the full list at news12.com or open up the News 12 app. Where do you think the best place is? Let us know. We're in Summit. Lauren Dew, News 12 New Jersey.
A deadly e-bike crash in Greenpoint has left one man dead and neighbors calling for more regulation. News 12 Shakti Dennis has more on what happened and how the community is reacting.
A normal Friday night in Greenpoint turned tragic. Police say 49-year-old Luis Cruz was crossing Franklin Street near India Street at around 7:45 p.m. when he was struck by an e-bike.
That's terrible.
He suffered severe head trauma and was rushed to Bellevue Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead.
It's tragic. You know, you hate to see someone lose their life from an accident. It sucks.
Witnesses say the scene was chaotic, with emergency crews blocking off the street for hours.
Blue tape on that side, yellow tape on this side. Police van here.
See the blood over there.
People dining at a nearby restaurant say they were caught off guard when first responders arrived.
It was pretty dark inside, and we're only lit by the fireman trucks.
And then when we went out of the restaurant, we saw that there was a lot of blood on the street.
The crash is reigniting concerns over e-bike safety.
Sometimes they don't stop; they just blow through the stop signs and they don't follow the rules.
They have to be more careful. Some go very, very fast.
No one's licensed and they can still ride at a really high speed, so I think we need more regulation.
The 26-year-old man who was riding the e-bike stayed at the scene. Police have not arrested anyone so far. They say they don't suspect criminality, but as you can see here, their investigation is still ongoing. In Greenpoint, Shakti Dennis, News 12 Brooklyn.